This episode of Nerdist News is sponsored by Deadly Class on Sci-Fi. 3 details you may have missed in the Ghostbusters 3 teaser. In news that no one saw coming, it was announced this week that a new Ghostbusters film from Jason Reitman, the son of Ghostbusters 1 and 2 director Ivan Reitman, is in the works, and it's far enough along that early on Wednesday, Entertainment Weekly released a near minute-long teaser for the film. What?
Yeah.
I had no idea. Many of you may remember that a Paul Feig-directed Ghostbusters reboot called Ghostbusters Answer the Call was released in 2016, and though the film is not without its fans, it didn't quite deliver at the box office, so many fans assume that much like the series' Spooky Phantoms, the franchise was dead and locked in a containment unit, never to be seen again. So in the span of a day, not only do we have a brand new Ghostbusters film announced from the son of the original film's director, we also have this awesome teaser, so let's fire up our proton packs and break it down. Besides showing us a dirty tarp-covered Ecto-1 in a dusty barn and giving the film a release window of summer 2020, it's pretty light on details, but there are a few small things that you might have missed. First off, as the camera gives us a creepy Sam Raimi-esque low shot of the grounds of a decrepit farm, we can hear the theremin-heavy soundtrack from the library scene of the original Ghostbusters. Besides setting a spooky mood for the teaser, this also acts as a fun reference to the OG films. Now, the second detail you may have missed is on the right side of the frame as we zoom in on the barn, where we see a fence smeared with a light bit of ectoplasm. Ectoplasm, if you don't remember, is a slime-like substance that shows up when ghosts try to interact with physical objects in our world, so this little bit of residue is a sure sign that there's something strange in this neighborhood, and there are some ghosts who presumably need busting. It's also worth noting that with Ecto-1 looking forgotten under a tarp in a dirty barn, that the Ghostbusters never became the well-funded Men in Black type organization after defeating Vigo the Carpathian in Ghostbusters 2. This feels similar to how they were stuck doing kids' parties at the beginning of 2, even though they saved the world by defeating Gozer in the first film. And since ominous storms are often a clear sign of ghosts in the GB universe, the weather in this teaser is definitely hinting at something big on the horizon. Minor side note, the yellow license plate from Ghostbusters 1 is back on the Ecto-1 as they changed the plates for Ghostbusters 2 with the white Statue of Liberty plates emblazoned with Ecto-1A. We're sure this is just for nostalgia purposes. And with this final detail, you may have to turn up your volume. Throughout the teaser, you can hear someone working on the Ghostbusters trademark weapon, a proton pack, using what sounds like a standard ratchet before firing it up. Since this proton pack is being worked on in a barn and not in a high-tech lab, we suspect that the person working on it has to be either a Ghostbusters superfan, a crackpot, or maybe a little bit of both. Our theory is that with the Ghostbusters holding such a huge nostalgic place for people in our world, that the next GB film will play off of that, and the proton pack is being worked on by a collector that may have even caused all of this new spectral activity. Sort of like how Kylo Ren was obsessed with Darth Vader paraphernalia and caused a whole bunch of trouble. Now, besides these details, what else do we know about the new Ghostbusters film? In the Entertainment Weekly interview with director Jason Reitman, he said, "This is the next chapter in the original franchise. It is not a reboot. What happened in the 80s happened in the 80s, and this is set in the present day." But what about the original cast? Reitman was a little coy on if we can expect appearances from surviving cast members Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, and Ernie Hudson, but he did give a few details. He said, "This is very early, and I want the film to unwrap like a present. We have a lot of wonderful surprises and new characters for the audience to meet." Now, this is pure speculation, but the film could feature Sigourney Weaver's character Dana Barrett's son Oscar, who was a baby in 1989's Ghostbusters 2, which would put him in his early 30s in this film. Though details are light at this point and it's hard to say exactly what the film is about and how it ties into the original Ghostbusters films, we'll get all the ghosty goods when the film comes out in about a year and a half. But what do you folks think? Are you excited about the secret direct sequel to Ghostbusters 2? Are there any classic GB characters you'd like to see in the sequel? And do you think the film will feature Dan Aykroyd's weird crystal head vodka in any meaningful way? Let's discuss. Thanks again to Sci-Fi's Deadly Class for sponsoring today's episode. Based on the graphic novel by Rick Remender and Wes Craig, Deadly Class is set against the backdrop of the unsanitized 1980s counterculture, where a disillusioned teen named Marcus is recruited into King's Dominion, a secret academy for the deadly arts. There, Marcus finds meaning and family in an unlikely group of outcast misfits who are out to change the world by breaking every rule there is. From executive producers the Russo brothers, check out the premiere of Deadly Class tonight at 10/9 Central on Sci-Fi.